And we are live. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, January 30th. Hopefully your January has gone well. Today is our weekly Jensen Training Webinar. We are going to go through how to connect Jensen with other platforms so that you can utilize the lead management. Maybe you have a ClickFunnels landing page, maybe it's an Unbounce page, maybe it's a WordPress site, using form plugins. There's a bunch of different things that we can do, and we're going to kind of roll through some of them today. It's going to be a much shorter webinar than last week's or the first webinar. And like always, if you have any questions unrelated to what I'm talking about, feel free to drop it in the question box and we will get to it. The first announcement I'd like to make, we did start dropping our weekly training webinars onto a Jensen YouTube channel. You should be getting emails when we upload the recordings after, but here is a example. We've got this month's webinars here. You can pop in, watch the replays at a little bit of a faster pace. Sometimes I do drone on, so I do realize we have a lot of people that like to watch these after the fact. Now let's go ahead and let's just dive in. So I've got this test demo campaign right now. And the first thing we're going to do is talk about getting a ClickFunnels landing page integrated with Jensen via the webhooks functionality. So what I've already gone and done is from this webinar demo campaign, I've clicked connect new site and I've gone through the wizard and I've connected this site right here. This is the URL. It's a temporary URL. But what we're going to do is hop over into ClickFunnels, and we can see that I'm looking at a funnel. So if you're not familiar with ClickFunnels, I think almost every internet marketer is, but they help build online funnels, series of landing pages that are connected. And you might already have funnels built in here. You might just prefer building your funnels in ClickFunnels, and you might also want to use the lead management functionality in Jensen. So I've come here and I've taken this starter funnel, and let's talk about how we get the leads that come in to ClickFunnels over to Jensen. So you might want to put the JavaScript snippet into your ClickFunnels page, and you can certainly do that, but ClickFunnels does a lot of magic with the way that they submit their forms. So the better mechanism is to go into this settings tab right here when you're looking at your funnel. And then you want to scroll down and we want to click on manage your funnel webhooks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just remove this webhook here so we can show what it looks like from scratch. So if you wouldn't have a webhook here, you would be looking at a blank page. And what a webhook is going to do is every time somebody fills out your ClickFunnels form or your ClickFunnels funnel, you're going to allow the ClickFunnels software to shoot over that data to us at Jensen, and then you'll be able to manage those leads. So it's really easy. We click on new webhook, and the URL that we want to use is going to be like this. We're going to use https://webhooks.jensen.ai, and that's going to be public webhooks, and then I believe it's going to be just ClickFunnels. And then this is the format that every single webhook integration is going to look like, where we have this webhooks.jensen.ai/public/webhooks, then the name of the provider. And then we want this webhook token. So in the case of a landing page where you don't have multiple pages on a site, the easiest way to do this is going to just be to go grab this webhook token at the bottom right of your site view. And let's just cut and paste that. And we can go back over to ClickFunnels. And then what we want to do is just drop it in the end. So we have the final URL, webhooks.jensen.ai/public webhooks ClickFunnels, and then our site webhook token. Now I'm going to set the events to just on contact created because we're only interested when the contact first comes in the system. And then we can use create funnel webhook. Let's just click this button here. And what we've now done is we've added an active webhook to this page here. So let's go ahead and let's test out this funnel. Now you would probably have this on a live domain. I'm just going to keep it on this test domain here. So we'll open up the landing page. And this is just a stock unedited landing page. And we will say webinar at submit.com. And it's just test sending through a lead. So now if we go back over to ClickFunnels, we can click on our contacts tab. You'll see some of the information that I added testing this. So we see this one right here, unknown less than a minute ago. If we want to look on a technical side at the webhook delivery, we can go back into the webhook settings by clicking the settings here. And we'll scroll down, manage your funnel webhooks. And we can see here that we now have one delivery to our webhook. If we click in here, we should be able to see what the delivery was, whether or not it's successful. So you can see, yes, it was successful. It only took one attempt to get it there. Here's the payload of the data that comes over. And then let's go ahead and let's look at Jensen. So we have one submit. And if we reload, we now see that we got the webhook lead that came from ClickFunnels. And let's click on the leads tab just to verify. And you can see here, here's the email, webinar@submit.com. If we had filled out more information, it would all be coming through here. Here's a lead I tested earlier before this. So you can see that we now have a landing page built in ClickFunnels integrated with Jensen. If you needed to swap out the phone number, you could just, I see most users just dropping in the phone number, not using the Jensen JavaScript. If you have a single landing page, you probably don't need to be doing dynamic number insertion. If you do need to do that, you still can by using the Jensen JavaScript in unison with the webhook delivery. But that is the ClickFunnels integration. So again, just want to harp on the fact that when we're looking at a landing page and we only really have one page that we're interested in collecting leads from, we are going to use the webhook token at the site level. So later on, let's say you have a site that's a WordPress site, maybe it's a local lead generation site. You've got 10 pages, plumbing.com/Los Angeles/San Francisco and 8 other cities. You're going to actually be able to connect webhook integrations via something like Gravity Forms on the site form level. So we'll go through it, but instead of using the webhook token here, what you'll actually do is click Site Forms, generate a site form, and then in this tab, each site form, which is assigned to a page, will have a webhook token so that you can integrate things, integrate Gravity Forms, integrate third-party softwares, and still keep the delineation of what page and what client the lead came through. So that is our ClickFunnels demo. I'll check really quickly if we have any questions there. Otherwise, we will just keep blowing through this. So let's go through here. So now what we have is unbounce. And we can take a look. I've got this unbounce page here. It is just a starter template as well. And it is also on the unbounce domain, not on our custom domain, but that's okay. In your case, if you're doing this live, you're going to have your own domain. So this is looking at the page. And now if we want to do a webhook integration, what we're going to do is first, we'll go to our campaign. I've already added this in. So if I hadn't already added it in, what I would do is click Connect New Site, and I'd go through the wizard. Otherwise, I've already done that here, and we can see this landing page. We'll hop in here. And just like the ClickFunnels landing page, we have a webhook token generated. So what we're going to do is copy that, and we're going to go over to Unbounce. We're looking at the main view of the page. We want to click on this basic form integration, and that's going to allow us to put in a webhook. And then we just want to do the same thing where we're going to do webhooks.jensen.ai / public webhooks, and this is going to be unbounce, and we will just cut and paste in our token. We're going to go through. You're going to be able to choose which attributes you want to come through, as well as what they're named as. You might remove some of these. I see that a lot. In this case, our landing page only has an email form. In your case, you're definitely going to have more than an email form. Most likely, you'll probably have a name, a number, some information about the job, things of that nature. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click OK. And what that does is Unbounce is going to go, it's going to send Jensen a test webhook, make sure that we're properly integrated, make sure that we're responding with a successful response. Looks like it worked. So let's go ahead and we'll look at our Unbounce landing page in Jensen. We have one submit that happened earlier, and let's go ahead and let's test this out. So we're looking at our landing page, and let's do test to, let's just call it gmail.com. And we say we want to get early access. Thank you for your interest. It looks like we converted. Let's go ahead and hop back on the Unbounce side. And let's just reload Jensen. And now we can see that we have a new lead. So if we click on the leads tab again, we can see here that it is this test2@gmail.com. We get some information about the variant, the page URL, all of those other pieces of information we chose to have sent over. But the most important part is that we do have a successful webhook integration. So that is the two landing page integrations that we have with Jensen. It's with ClickFunnels and Unbounce. If you are using another landing page software that you want to be integrated with Jensen and they have webhook capabilities, it's about a 10 to 15 minute integration for us. So just give us a shout. Let us know in the help box that you have something you want integrated. And as long as they have webhooks, we'll be able to get connected pretty quickly. So if you guys are watching this, or ladies, and you're interested in the Unbounce webhook integration, you can go to help.jensen.ai, just search Unbounce, and you will see all of those steps here that you kind of watched me do. We do not have the ClickFunnels training in. I will get that made and uploaded for you, hopefully by the end of this week. But ideally, you can watch this video and see that the ClickFunnels webhook integration is pretty simple. Again, here's the URL that you're going to want to always use, this webhooks.jensen.ai, public webhooks, and then the name of the service provider, and then your webhook token, whether it's a site token or a site form token. So let's continue on. And the next thing I want to talk about is our Gravity Forms integration, or more generally, our third-party form integrations. So when you go to Jensen, and let's say you have a website, maybe it's a WordPress website. I'll go to my campaign here. So I've got a WordPress website added, this blog.localviking.com, and let's hop in. And we know that when we add a external website, we get the Jensen JavaScript here to embed on the site. So what the Jensen JavaScript does is it allows us to replace phone calls or phone numbers with our tracking number, and it allows us to transparently monitor or listen to form submits. So the way that we do that is with listening in on the jQuery as well as the JavaScript of the form submitting, and we intercept it. And there are a number of times when that's not going to be successful. The most common time is when you're using a form plugin such as Gravity Forms that uses an AJAX call, or they do something special with their JavaScript where we cannot get in front of their JavaScript call to determine when the form's submitting. So to avoid all of that, we actually integrate direct with a number of form plugins for WordPress as well as not for WordPress through their webhook add-ons. So the most common one that we see is going to be this Gravity Forms integration, and I'm going to show you a live example. So in this case, we have blog.localviking.com, and we can see the website right here. I'm at blog.localviking.com. It's a pretty blank website, but it's going to be a good example. So I've already gone and I've installed the Gravity Forms plugin. I have gone to this add-ons tab here, and the first thing you're going to want to do is scroll all the way down and just make sure that you have this webhooks add-on activated. You might need, I believe, the Elite subscription to have this capability, but it is required if you do want to pull leads out of Gravity Forms into Jensen. So again, we've activated the webhooks add-on. We've created our form. In this case, I'm just going to click into it. And once you've created your form, I've had a very simple 2-input form here. You're definitely going to have a bigger one, but you're going to want to click over settings, and you're going to want to click into webhooks. And then you're going to want to add a new webhook. So I'm going to just go ahead and walk us through adding a new one. Let's call this one the Jensen webhook. I'm going to call it number 2 because we already have one there. And then we're at the request URL. So I believe if I hop into our help documentation over at Jensen, that we do have some documentation here. If we don't, I'll get it made, but we don't need it for this case. So we're going to follow the formula. We have webhooks.jensen.ai/public webhooks, and then we want to have the name of the provider. In this case, it's Gravity Forms, and then we want to have the token. So for this example, I'm just going to use, again, this webhook token here. But what we want to also show is using a webhook token on the site form level. So let me do a quick integration here. So we leave it as post. We leave the request format as JSON. We don't need any special headers or anything in the body, no conditions. Let's go ahead and update it. And then we can see that we have both of these webhooks here. They're the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to delete the one that existed before, and we only have this one here. Now I've gone and I've already put this on a blank page. So if I could figure out how to use WordPress, let's go ahead. We'll look at our pages. I've got this Jensen test page here, and you can see that I'm just using the short code to drop in the Gravity form. Let's go ahead and let's test this live. So I'm going to go to the page, and we have this nice, beautiful test form here. I'm going to say that the name is test, and this is information about my potential job that I'm interested in. So we've got a little bit of a form submit here. Again, if we go over here, we can see we've already got one submit for our blog.localviking site. Let's go ahead and click submit here. And it looks like it went through. And let's go ahead, and if we reload, theoretically, we should see the submit come through. And again, we just go to the leads tab, and we can see right here, test, this is the information about my potential job. And we have successfully integrated with WordPress via the webhook integration. Now, one other quick note. So let's say, for instance, that this blog.localviking.com website had a bunch of pages that we were generating leads from. So I want to be able to mark each of those leads coming in as from a unique page. Maybe it's because we're selling it to individual clients. Maybe it's just because that's what we want to see. So the way to do that is we click the Site Forms button, and now we can actually see that when we have forms submit, they come through right here. So let's say that I wanted to create a new page. I'm just going to quickly go here. I'm going to make a new page. Let's add a new page. Let's just call this the new test. And the way that we would get everything handled properly is we will actually have to create a new Gravity Forms per page, because the Gravity Form can only have one webhook per form. So if you have 10 different pages and you need those 10 pages to count as unique leads, you're going to need 10 different forms with 10 different webhook integrations. So I'm going to add a new one. We'll call it the new page form. And let's go ahead. I'm just going to do a single line here. It's going to be your phone number, and we'll update it. And let's go to webhooks. And I've got this new page here. I really quickly would like to actually make sure this page has, so let's say Gravity Forms ID equals 2. Save this, publish it, and save it. Let's just view the page. We've got the new Gravity Form. And let's just go and set the webhook here. So I've got the webhook interface. What I want to do is create a new site form. And let's just call this new page. It should have that ID. We're going to track the forms. We're going to submit the original form. This all looks good. Let's save here. And we've created this new form, and we get this webhook token as a consequence. And we're going to just use our URL. So it again is webhooks.jensen.ai/public webhooks Gravity Forms. And now we're using the webhook token for our site form ID, or for our unique site form instead of the entire site. Let's go ahead and add that. Make sure that it's active. And let's try to submit this. And we've submitted the form. And now we can see that we have 3 submits that came through. And we can see that latest lead come through. Now the magic is that we have the page that this is attached to now because of that unique webhook token that is assigned to that form. That form is assigned to one page. And we have a nice structure of being able to deal with existing lead gen sites that are using something like Gravity Forms to be collecting your form submissions. That is it for our Gravity Forms overview. I want to quickly talk about the fact that we have similar integrations with a bunch of other tools. If you are using long form forms from something like Typeform, we have campaigns that are running this. We have a very simple Typeform webhook integration. Each of your Typeforms has a place where you can put in the webhook details. You would use the exact same format that you've been using for the webhook integrations that I've shown thus far. And if you're using JotForm, we have JotForm integrated. If you're using FormKeep, we have FormKeep integrated. And we also have other integrations with things like conversational chatbots. So we are integrated with Hello Tars. If you have a landing page with a chatbot, you can send over successful chatbot leads directly into Jensen. They can be managed, they can be sold, they can be distributed. So that is it for today. It looks like we're perfectly wrapping up at 30 minutes. I am hoping that this is going to be beneficial. We've had a lot of questions about how to get these integrations done. If anybody has any questions at all, again, feel free to message us through the site chat. We're always around there. You can hit us up at support@jensen.ai. If you're ever having problems with your integrations, feel free to reach out to us. It's usually something quick that we can fix or that we can see that you're doing wrong. And that is it for today. I want to thank everyone for showing up. If you are watching this on the replay, again, you can also feel free to reach out to us and ask questions if you didn't get to do it live. Hopefully this gave you an overview of how to use the Jensen lead management platform without having to actually use a Jensen website. If you have existing lead generation assets, existing websites, you don't have to do anything scary and move over to a new platform. You can still use your same landing page software. You can still use your same WordPress sites. You can still use your same WordPress plugins, and we'll go ahead and consume all of your leads transparently. That's it for today. We will get this recorded and uploaded, and I will see you guys next week.